Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here. I am interviewing Mr. Paul Pluta, also known as Archie Luxury. Paul, the first time we spoke, you mentioned you referred to yourself as Archie, so I feel like it's fitting that for the rest of the interview we call you Archie.
No problem. Sounds great.
Does Archie represent Paul though? I want to talk about Paul a little bit.
Archie is the method actor who plays Paul.
Okay. So that implies that Paul is the made up personality?
Yeah, I think they both think the other one is made up. See.
Okay, that's some deep psychology right there.
Exactly.
So what is your background? What do I haven't seen all of your videos. I've seen a lot. I haven't seen all. I know that you live in Australia, right? You're in Sydney?
Brisbane.
Brisbane. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I assume that everyone lives in Sydney because it's the one I was at, and Melbourne.
I see. Yes.
Haven't been to Brisbane.
Yes.
What is Brisbane like? Tell us. I live in Los Angeles. Tell me what Brisbane is like.
Brisbane's like any other overpriced Western world city. It's $70 to park in the city for 3 hours. It's hard to pick up a good-looking bird. It's
Okay.
it's like any other Western world big city. Expensive.
Did you grow up there?
Yes, I was born and raised in Brisbane, and
Okay.
yes, I only started traveling to Asia when I was retrenched in the early noughties, and I got a job in Thailand, and I realized what a scam the Western world is.
Wow. So Brisbane must have some good qualities, right?
It's got a few good qualities there. Yes.
Like
Yes.
if I showed up in Brisbane, I was like,
Yep.
okay, I have to do a few nice things. What would
Yeah.
you tell me to do?
Okay. On Tuesdays, you can get 9 pieces of chicken from KFC for $9.
Imagine that.
Yeah. That's. What else?
That's
Hmm.
that was not as exciting as I would have anticipated. I would have thought something a little bit more culture, maybe.
Yeah. Look. Brisbane is. Brisbane is. It's just a typical Western world city. There. I mean, a lot of people stop off at Brisbane to go to the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast. It's sort of like Miami. If you. It's like.
So Brisbane is where the airport is, right?
Yeah, it's where the airport is. It's.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a Western world small city with world class delusions.
Okay. Well, that's at least it sounds comfortable.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
So, when did watches enter your life?
Look, being from Brisbane itself, I don't know if you know this, Brisbane is the Tudor capital of the world.
Really?
We always outsold Rolex. So Tudors always outsold Rolex because we were always a city that was aware of our place in society. We didn't have delusions of grandeur back then. We knew we weren't quite Rolex or Sydney standard. See, so that's where
But was Brisbane able to afford Rolex? Is the question.
Yes, that's a very valid point there. Possibly not. Where we were a Tudor city, and for me, look, I was a kid in the 80s, so
Okay.
I first came across my dad had a generic Swiss piece of shit called a Technos,
Technos.
watch.
That's
And
a name
then,
we don't want
yep.
coming back.
No, that's exactly. Then he got a Seiko 5 automatic, and I thought Seikos were the best watches in the world. And a little bit later, I went down to my mall shopping center, and
Yeah.
I said to the guy, "What's the best brand?" He said, "Omega." Omega. And
Really?
I was so naive. I had no idea. I thought they only made one model of Amiga, and every couple of years they changed it. So that's why it's whatever they had in that.
They do that just times about 40.
Yeah. So when I was in middle school, because I really wanted a good watch, so I got a Seiko quartz steel.
Nice.
And then the jewelry store had a special on an Omega Seamaster. It was a quartz one, not the sports. Everything was called Seamaster then. That was sort of just the.
I know. We still have a lot of that today. The vestige of the Seamaster 80s.
Yes, and it wasn't waterproof at all. Quartz, and I needed to do it, so I sold my dad my quartz Seiko, and I went down, put an extra $30 in. $40 in for $150. Got an Omega Seamaster, and I got a horrible Spidell gold-plated band.
Oh, the stretchy one?
Yes, put it on my Seamaster because it had a gold-colored head. You know.
What kind of Seamaster was this that would look good on that bracelet?
Wow, I thought I was a swinging dick. Gold bracelet, gold head. I looked the part. You know.
Wow.
Yes.
What were you doing with your life at that time?
I was in high school. That's when I was in high school, and I only really came across the first time I was exposed to Rolex was with the fabulous book from one of your favorite authors, Bret Easton Ellis, American Psycho.
Yeah. Did you know that I interviewed Bret Easton Ellis? I spent about 2 hours at his home interviewing him.
Well, how did you find him?
There was a site called Ask Men. I don't even know if they're still
yes,
around.
No. I know Ask Men. I've read heaps of articles from them.
So I used to write for them, and make a long story short, I ended up interviewing him, and he spent a long time talking about hating his father.
Oh, I see.
And I'll tell you something interesting about American Psycho.
Yes.
That you'll never know from reading it. This is directly from Bret Easton Ellis.
Yes.
And I agreed with you. I loved that book. I read that when I was 21, maybe, after having seen the movie when I was in high school, which was awesome. At the time, it was cool, you know.
Yes. See, when I was in this was pre-internet days. I was in high school, and it was being banned. American Psycho was being banned everywhere. There was no talk. This was
Australia
10 years
loves
before the
banning
movie.
our entertainment.
That was 10 years before the movie. And see, the funny thing is, in American Psycho, he wears a gold day-date.
Yeah.
In the movie, he had this horrid two-tone. I said, that's not what Patrick Bateman should be wearing. He needs a gold one. He had the president. The day-date.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Easton Ellis is a watch lover, okay? He's a Rolex guy. In that sense, he respects a good watch. Here's what I'll tell you, which is funny.
Yes.
Do you remember how in the book, in detail, he would sort of describe what people were wearing?
I love that. Yes.
So I asked him about that. I was like, what was up with that? That must have taken a huge amount of time. And he's like, I was living in Manhattan at the time, and I was doing stuff in the fashion world, and I had all these magazines with me, right? And in the magazines, you just saw pictures of someone, and then it described what they were wearing, the pants.
It's like GQ magazines today.
Yeah. Well, so what he said he was doing is going through it and making clown outfits that looked ridiculous so that if you saw what it was that he was putting together, he was intentionally trying to make them look absurd. That's what he said. He used the word absurd.
Amazing story.
And the food too. When they went to the restaurants, if you knew what the items were, he was making like just something that was disgusting.
Well, there was actually a website there which tells you what happened to these restaurants, if they're still in business or not. Uh-huh. You can Google it. It tells you which ones exist, which ones don't, and
I wouldn't want to go to any of them.
And he was a very much a pretentious, and I there wasn't much mention of cars there, but there was a mention once that one of his associates hired a black BMW 3 Series, I think. That was a reference to automobiles.
Okay. In
the book.
And,
yeah. And
he was mentioning brands all the time. He told me it was a social commentary in the fact that the 80s were just obsessed, apparently, with brand. And it's true. I remember. It was just brand name everything.
Yes, and that to have a platinum American Express card, that's the ultimate goal, you know.
Before black.
Yes, yes. I mean, well, see, our country was always, but I mean, it was just so, you know, that was just such a. So fast forward a bit there. So I probably saw that book came out in the late '80s in Australia. Okay.
So let me get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
A novel about a psychopathic, egotistical, maniac murderer got you into watches?
Well, look. It was a book that was so. I mean, it was satire. You got to understand.
It was a masterpiece.
It was
You're
satire.
right. It was a satire.
It was satire.
But you know what? You know what, Archie? Between you and me, there
Yeah.
were some gruesome scenes in that book. Like when they was trying to describe the music of Genesis, that was a hard chapter to go through.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes, I do agree with you there. It's the thing that disappointed me with Patrick Bateman was that if you read the book, you find out that he worked at Pierce and Pierce, the law firm. Sorry, the hedge fund, whatever, the financial.
Oh, he was no lawyer. Let's be straight with that.
But he got the job because his father was connected. He didn't actually get it on his own merit.
See, that didn't matter, right? Because that was merit unto itself. In a narcissist world, of course you get hired because you are you.
Yes, it was. Look, so this is the story. It kind of encapsulated all the spirit of the time, and I remember the other thing at the time was Die Hard 1.
Yeah.
Where that's where those crazy Germans hijacked the building. This is Die Hard 1.
Yeah, what were they wearing? I don't remember. He didn't have anything impressive, did he?
No, but it's when the terrorist says, "Oh, and my wife and we've given her, and your wife got a Rolex. She had a ladies' president." Remember that?
Okay, you're right. Now here's something interesting. That was rare for someone to mention a watch that was rare. These days, I just saw Pirates of the Caribbean, and they somehow were able to throw in a significant part of the plot related to horology.
Wow.
And like this pocket watch. And then I just saw, what did I just see? Wonder Woman. Oh my God. They literally had a custom leather strap and case that a pocket watch went into. They're trying to get people wearing pocket watches and pocket watches sexy now. It's like they got bored of watches.
And I got to
But the watch brands they're all in it. You know they are.
Wall Street, that was the classic movie with Charlie Sheen in it.
Yeah.
Geez, did I lust after a solid gold quartz Santos.
Yep.
Gordon Gekko had the solid gold Santos quartz. Well, I assume it was probably an automatic, but
how big was that?
that was the smallish size one, you know. And I got to tell you, so then what happened is, Rolex was the brand to have. Rolex. I'm 18 years old. I got my first. Well, I was actually working for myself, believe it or not. I got my American Express card, the green. This is how naive I was, right? I didn't realize until I got the first bill, and I immediately bought a Rolex, okay?
Really?
Yep.
So wait, what were you naive about?
Sorry, sorry?
What were you naive about? You said you were naive.
I didn't realize you had to pay the bill every month. It wasn't a credit card, it's a charge card. You had to clear the damn bill every month.
That's right.
And because I didn't know that, I just got sucked into the American Psycho theme. He never had problems paying the bill.
Patrick Bateman did not have problems paying his bills. That is correct.
And anyhow, I got...
Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
What's that, sorry?
The watch.
Oh, I paid $1,535, but because I put it on Amex, he charged me $1,575 for an L serial number 1016 Plastic Explorer 1. Last of the Explorer 1 in plastic.
Plastic?
Plastic glass.
Oh, plexiglass.
Plexiglass, yes.
Oh, wow. So plastic, yeah.
Yeah. Last of the last, and that was, I got a Rolex, okay? I got the Rolex. This was when I was 18. And the rest, as we say, is history. That's it. And you know something? I didn't know anything about watch collecting because I had that stupid Omega with the Spidell bracelet on it.
So you wanted to pimp with watches, but you didn't have a lot of watch experience at the time.
Well, I actually gave it to my dad because I couldn't think, why would you need more than one? I thought, oh, I've got a Rolex now. I'll give the Omega to my father.
I can see the sense in that. Sure.
Because I thought, what would you need more than one watch for?
So how old were you at this point where you gave away
that was
a watch?
18. That was 18. 18.
So you were into watches is kind of about your personal character, but you were a one watch man. When did you become a two watch man?
Oh, that wasn't until the later 90s when I saw an ad in the paper for some guy who was selling second-hand watches. And I this is embarrassing, but do you want me to tell you this or not?
I think you need to say it.
Okay, so I had my Rolex, my 1016 Explorer 1. I went and saw this guy who was selling watches, and I immediately got a cash advance on my credit card, my MasterCard, and I bought 2 watches from him that day.
So you went from 1 to 3?
Yep, that's right. I bought a Cartier Must Tank,
Oh, I remember that.
manual wind, and the other thing which I really loved was a Cartier Must 2. It's a
So you bought 2 Cartiers?
2 Cartiers, 2 musty Cartiers.
Is that the one where the dial's smaller than the case? Like it kind of goes in? Like there's a really big bezel?
Yeah, it's kind of roundy, very roundy. It was
I'm going to look at that right now. Must
2.
de Cartier.
Yeah, Musty Cartier is sort of their lifestyle range of watches, but the Must Cartier.
I love how I put that in. I put that into Google. All fragrance. Literally not a single watch, just fragrance.
Wow.
Were these on bracelets?
They were both on leather straps.
Oh, I see this one. Oh, I've never seen that one before.
Circular.
Yeah, it is. It has a very, very circular, very thick bezel.
Yes.
Elegant. Nice looking watch.
Yeah, so that's and then I started. I thought, wow, you could actually buy second. I never realized there were people who bought and sold secondhand watches exist. I never knew this.
Where did this guy have a store? Where did you find this guy?
Yeah, he was sort of like a market trader in an antique shop.
Oh, so that was like early, like pre-owned watch sales.
Yeah, this is like late 90s. 97.
No, but this was early on. Like this was not a thing yet. This was barely there.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
So, okay, well, should I ask, when did you go to 4 watches, 5 watches? Like, was this fast?
Oh, well, very quickly. Then I found a Cartier Santos, and it was an octagonal Santos.
Oh, those were interesting.
Steel octagonal, mid-size.
Right.
Steel octagonal, I loved it because not only was it steel octagonal automatic Santos, but it also had a tag. It was sold in a Sotheby's auction.
Well, would you look at that? That's provenance.
Yes, so I was really, and then that was the 4th watch, and then the 5th watch was the first one I got stiffed on, which was another.
Stiffed? What do you mean?
I bought a Cartier Must 21, and he said the leather strap was original, but it wasn't. And I said to him, "What's going on?"
That sucks.
And then, because that's the same guy I got the Santos off. The Santos was immaculate, but this Must 21 wasn't. And he changed. He reneged on his refund policy.
That's too bad. So, what did that sour your taste? Were you pissed off after that?
A little bit, but
Yeah.
a little knowledge is bad. If you know the value of something. Because then I went on to Time Zone and WatchNet, and I realized my Explorer 1 was so valuable then.
Were you doing anything online, or were you at all participating in a watch community? Like, when did that start? That's what I want to know.
Oh, look, online. Look, I started. I was really into luxury goods more than just watches. It was anything luxury I wanted. I wanted the whole thing. I wanted fancy pen, fancy briefcase, fancy watch, fancy car. I wanted the entire ensemble.
Oh, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, So
Where did you see other people that had that stuff?
well, American Psycho. Everything was listed out.
Okay, that makes sense.
So just the yeah. So I sort of tried to be a player on that scene.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, it left me with 50,000 in credit card debt. You tell me how it works out.
Wow, that's a lot of credit card debt.
No, not that bad. Look, I look. It was an okay period. It was an okay period. I like to try. I like to see some quality things because I came from Brisbane. We were a bit of a backwater town. We were sort of like Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma. Okay.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Like,
So-
civilized but out of the way.
Yeah. So I mean, wow, Rolex, and then that guy I bought those two Cartiers from, I said, what is the best watch brand in the world? Because I thought Rolex was it. And he,
Okay, so when did Archie Luxury get started?
okay, well, he told me Patek Philippe, and I couldn't pronounce it properly. I used to call it Philippe Patek. Archie Luxury started in 09. 09, that's right, 09.
Okay, so it's been almost what? It's been 8 years for you now.
That's correct, yes, that's right.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to do something for me right now.
Sure.
You do these like reviews, right?
Yes.
And people pay you, and you review their watch. Will you
That's
review a
correct.
watch I'm wearing right now?
Sure. Tell me about it.
Okay, this is what's interesting. I'm on your YouTube page. Okay, so everyone listening, if you don't know Archie Luxury, all of his material is on YouTube, and you look for Archie Luxury, and not safe for work, right? Sometimes there's a heated opinion that is not appropriate in all atmospheres.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you are prolific. 7,719 videos over 8 years. That is a lot. That is a lot of days recording videos, isn't it?
It is quantity, not quality. Remember that.
Oh.
Some of them are a bit rawish, could we say?
So there's so going back to the watch I'm wearing, what I
Yes.
was saying is I'm here on your website or on
Yes.
the channel,
Yes.
and I see a picture of the watch on my wrist, and I had
Wow.
no idea that I would see literally the exact watch, not the the same
Sure.
dial color and everything like that. And I even forgot the reference number. It's a Seiko, and it's a Seiko. It's a Grand Seiko quartz.
see.
It's the anti-magnetic one from 10 months ago. This video did pretty well. 61,000 views.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this was part of the shitter free zone.
Yes. That's actually a beautiful watch, that, isn't it?
Oh my God! So I have this Grand Seiko. It's I did a review.
Yes.
I gotta find. Do you remember the name of it? Do I need to look?
I'm just having a look at it now. It's very, very classical, isn't it? That one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's well, it is and it isn't, right? Like, okay, so it's the SBGX
Yeah.
093. I reviewed this kind of, interestingly enough, kind of around the time you did. Okay, so so you published this on July 27th, 2016. I published my review in October, but I owned it. I bought it early 2016. So I bought it before your thing came out, so unfortunately you can't claim that you inspired this purchase. Sorry.
I see. Look, I gotta tell you, it is a any of the Grand Seikos are amazing pieces. Like it is Rolex quality, isn't it?
It's different.
I mean, some of the
It's
newer
not
Seikos,
better or worse. It's just different.
Some of the newer Seikos are very Chinesey, aren't they?
The
lower end.
Oh, like yeah. Oh,
You know.
they've always been.
Yeah, very cheesy, The Grand Seiko is really, it's kind of, You know, it's like a guy who has a Chevy, and he's done it up to Mercedes quality. You know, it's just, I absolutely adore it. I adore the quality on the Grand Seikos. I don't think you can avoid that, you know.
Right.
Would I buy one? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean, the whole thing about watches
You don't.
is,
So you don't own a Grand Seiko?
I don't own a Grand Seiko.
Well, that's because it fails the Patrick Bateman test. See, now I figured you out. Now everything is a Patrick Bateman test. Would Patrick Bateman wear it?
Exactly. You know,
I just figured out Archie Luxury. This is the formula, everyone. You don't need to ask Archie until you haven't been able to figure out would Patrick Bateman wear. And so Archie should start Patrick Bateman should or should not wear for the following reasons.
That's exactly it.
That's the whole show for you.
Quartz also annoys me. You know that quartz. I've been very badly burnt by quartz.
Burnt by quartz?
Yes. You know,
like it exploded on your wrist?
Worse than that. You know, it stopped working. You know, I've had a bit of a shock with some of the quartz pieces. And
so this is supposed to be the best quartz movement on the planet.
Yes.
50-year service interval.
Yes. Amazing stuff. Look, I'd have to tell you, the thing I love about the Grand Seiko is attention to detail. No one does. I mean, I'm a huge Japanese whiskey fan. Okay.
Right.
No one is as precise as the Japanese. I mean, when they're reading the recipe from Scotland, it says, add 1 thimble of blah, blah, blah. They take it down to the 100th degree. You know, their measurements are exact. At what temperature do they add it? At what Celsius? What this? What that? And Grand Seiko really has. It's that attention to detail that is absolutely amazing. I mean, I love Grand Seiko. They're so stealthy. Like, unless you're a purist, you would just say, it's a Seiko. $100, $500.
Do people really know what a Seiko costs these days is my question. Like, I get they don't see Seiko and think expensive, but so few people other than watch lovers are even buying Seiko. Well, I think they all know.
I got to tell you, you know, Brisbane itself is such a backwater. I remember someone said, you know, when you're at a workplace, office politics, people say, you got a Rolex. And the best way to answer that is, yes, it was a gift. Do you know some Rolexes are over $500? That's the best way to answer it, you know.
So you basically took off all your responsibility for the watch because you would have been stigmatized for having a Rolex?
Well, no, I didn't quite say that, but that's my advice, you know. I remember, you know, I used to work for KBR, Kellogg, Brown and Root, the Halliburton boys, right?
What would Patrick Bateman have done in that situation?
Well, let me tell you this, straight out of, this is Paul Hogan and Patrick Bateman combined. There was a big swinging dick in the office who had a Submariner. I said, hey, can I see your Rolex Submariner? I hear they're really expensive.
You said that?
To this guy. Yes, have a look. Hey, wait a minute. That's not a Submariner. And I had the solid gold Rolex Submariner on. A 16808. There you go. 16.
So you had a solid gold Submariner?
With 30 dial.
I mean, look, a solid gold sports watch is pretty cool.
And I said, this is a Submariner. And I got fired a week later, but it's still a great story.
Because of that?
Yeah, of course.
Wait. You got fired because of a watch situation?
Well, I was a contractor. I mean, you get fired for anything, you know?
Okay, but was it because of the...
It was because of the watch and the fact that I used to surf a lot at work as well. That might have had something to do with it.
Surf, like online?
Yeah, exactly.
What were you doing there?
On the watch forums.
You know... Oh, well, you were an addict.
Yeah, that's what you could say. I told them I was just testing the internet connectivity.
How did they respond to that?
Well, they just asked me to leave. They escorted me out of the building.
Oh,
what do they normally say?
You stood up for the love of watches in the face of losing a job.
Exactly.
That's kind of romantic if watch love
Yes.
was a woman.
Yes.
Or, you know.
Exactly right.
So Archie's a romantic.
That's exactly right. American Psycho inspired romantic. That's
Huh.
exactly it. And to get back to your Grand Seiko, I love it. I love the black and the red with the white, the black dial, red white writing with white writing, the attention to detail. I mean, you could look at that with a loop, and it's AP quality. Bracelet's fantastic. It's I've recently got an IWC. I mean,
I'm like literally like admiring the watch while you're saying it.
it's just a beautiful piece. The way the bracelet's done, it's like an IWC. It's I think it's above Rolex. You know, I got an IWC Ingy, and it's polished.
Can I bring?
Sorry.
Can I get your feedback? Sorry, I had an idea earlier tonight actually,
Yeah.
for like a video style commercial for Seiko.
Yes.
So I want to tell you if you think this would be a good
Yeah.
advertisement for Seiko, okay?
Yeah.
And no one's ever done anything like this, and I just think it's a funny part of like watch guy psychology. So,
Sure.
By the way, I'm super flattered you like the watch I'm wearing. You know, this watch, and this is actually I love Seiko, but also they piss me the hell off.
How could you not
I
love
bought
it?
this.
How could you
No,
not
I love the watch, the brand, the people of the brand. The brand is run in a way that makes them difficult to love. Let's put it that way.
Yes, of course.
But this watch I bought at a store in Tokyo. I actually went to a store. I never go to stores and buy watches. I always do it through the brand or a connection. I actually went to a store, a camera store in Akihabara, and I bought this watch. And I knew that I wanted it. And I was scared. I was like, oh, it's only $39, but it's got wide lugs. It's just so cool looking.
Yes.
They have an automatic version I don't care about. Like, really, the automatic is a little bit bigger and thicker, but I just don't care. I love that it's the 9F. Anyways, glad you like this watch too. See? And you know what? If Patrick Bateman had a less violent, like, cousin, I bet he would wear a Grand Seiko. You think so, maybe?
I would have said
Really? That far removed?
Tudor.
Wow. Okay. You know what? Maybe you're right.
Because it would be very hip. His cousin would be not as affluent as him, but the cousin would be super stylish. There'd be a trade-off as far as what font have they got on their business card.
Oh man, what a great scene. Oh, so the Seiko, the advertisement. Okay.
Yes.
This is I think this is really good. So, imagine the scene is a bathroom, like a high-end bathroom, like probably at a nice hotel.
Yes.
And there's a gentleman that walks in, and then you see a panning shot, and then he walks over to the sink, and he starts the water, and then he pauses, and he goes and he takes his watch off, and he sets it down on this marble counter.
Sure.
And you look and you see the watch, and the whole point is he's taking the watch off.
Yes.
In order to wash his hands. And then you see this word, and it just says respect. The idea is that even though the watch could easily handle it, the idea is it's a precious item.
Hey.
And so you take it off to wash your hands.
I love it. Man, you sold me. I'll order one.
Right, and then it says under that, so first it says respect, and then the second part of it appears, that's what a Seiko would do for you.
Hey, that's just so wonderful. You need to get into the ad industry. You know that?
I'm trying to. I would love to make these ads for the watch industry because they have failed to do it themselves.
You're right. That's a brilliant concept.
And then the camera is right there, kind of at the counter, the same height.
Yes.
A few inches away from the watch, showing like all these beautiful angle and curves. The person wearing it has kept it immaculate. You could even point out that the watch has 100 meters of water resistance, but only a fool would voluntarily submit it. Something silly like that.
Yeah.
But it's just, or you could just keep it simple. Just say respect.
Yeah.
That's what a Seiko would do for you.
I love it. I love the concept. I love it. I really do. That's such a cool idea.
So someone make it. If it works and it sells watches, hire me for more stuff.
That's exactly it. That's a great idea. Because what I get sick of is people, they tell me they're buying their first watch and they want it to be brand new. I love the ad for BMW. Are you a BMW person?
I do like cars. I wouldn't say there's any car company I like all their stuff. BMW has some awesome stuff. Other
Okay.
cars I would not interested in.
There's this girl. She's sitting in a BMW, like a 24-year-old.
Is this your dream advertisement?
No, this has been done. She's
Oh, this is
gorgeous.
real,
She's
okay.
gorgeous, okay?
A hot girl in a BMW.
In a 7 Series. 7 Series.
7 Series.
And the ad
Even
goes,
classier.
doesn't matter if you weren't the first.
Oh.
Because it's
Cute.
for pre-owned BMWs. Do you understand?
Oh.
Does
okay.
it matter if you weren't the first?
You
Right.
see, I like that. The watch industry needs to adopt that
Exactly.
type of
That's just so cool.
humor and class.
So-
Focus on men.
Yes. That's exactly.
You know what? I don't know what it's like in Australia. In America, there is a little bit of a social stigma against sort of masculinity, right? Like sort of this overt things that are a little bit chauvinistic. Everyone's afraid,
Yep.
and a lot of it is.
Hey,
kinda
that's why I'm
disgusting,
unemployable.
but-
That's why I'm unemployable. I can't get a job.
Because you make crude statements?
Yeah, I speak the truth. I speak the truth, you know?
Well, then you need to find a job that values you speaking the truth.
Hey, look, I like doing my own thing. To be honest with you, this is my niche. My niche.
You are, and you know what? No one does it like you.
But I gotta tell you, you're the #1 YouTube watch channel. Very, very serious. I reckon you should get into the branding segment. I mean, seriously. The Grand
Look.
Seiko, that's such a cool idea. I could even film it. We could even film it with an iPhone. You know, that can be done. I reckon that'd be really cool. All we need is fancy hotel. And fancy hotel. We don't even need any sound, just the tap turning on.
Can I say something now? Because I agree with you. We should do this. We recorded this. So that's good.
Yep.
But this is where my smile turns into a frown.
Yes.
Is because I think of the industry itself, and I think about how difficult it would be to actually get this done. Like for you and me, it's a no-brainer. Like, of course they should do that. It's impossible.
And you know what? Can I just say
Seiko.
one thing quickly to you? You know what we do for the
Yes.
visual? We'll also have a print ad campaign going with this as well.
Of course.
And what we do is the ad's in black and white, except for the watch is in color.
I like that.
So the background, the bathroom, even you might even see a little bit of his body, right, as he's washing his hands. You see the watch on the marble. It's all black and white except the watch is in color.
What watch would it be? Because a lot of their watches are
Grand
monochromatic.
Seiko.
I know, but which one? A lot of them are monochromatic. I guess there's just a little hint of color.
But that's the whole point. They'd be.
I guess it doesn't matter. It could be any of them.
Monochrome. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Which is, it'd be fantastic because the red would still be there. It'd just be so cool. It'd be so cool.
No, it's great. So I know that I could go to Seiko and say, "Hey, we should do this. Why don't you just pay for it to make it? I'll help. And if you
Exactly.
like it, you can pay me more." I couldn't even get them to agree to that. I really try.
Hey,
But-
I don't even get invited to openings. You know, I don't even.
Do you want to be invited to openings?
I don't know. I just feel unloved in the industry. You know.
Have you reached out to the industry? I'm curious. Have you?
In some ways, I have.
It doesn't sound like a lot.
No, I got an autograph poster of Terry Stern and Philippe Stern.
Oh. How did that come about?
Yeah, I just asked them. I wrote to them. They sent it to me.
You asked them for an autograph picture. Wow, that's something. What made you want that?
I mean, these are the watch idols you have, aren't they? I mean, do you want a picture of a movie star? I thought, well, it'd be cool to have a picture of the Patek. The Patek.
You know, I gotta say,
Yeah.
Stern Senior
Yes.
is a proud-looking man.
Yeah.
When you meet that guy, he has a presence. He really does.
How about Terry?
Look, Terry is a guy that inherited a job from his dad. That was a job that you can't say no to.
Yeah.
But what didn't seem to ever really have a shot. He's not his dad, and he knows he's not his dad. And no one actually expects him to be his dad.
No.
But he's reminded on a regular basis that he's not his dad.
I still think
If
he's
you know what I
kind
mean.
of cool. He's a cool guy.
Well, he definitely knows how to make his job look.
And I heard he likes my
Interesting.
videos. I heard from a very...
You know what? I bet he does. He
Yeah.
has a very sensible personality. He seems like a genuinely cool guy. He's
Yes.
got this organization around him that is complicated and probably pressures him to say as little as possible. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think he's a legitimately cool guy, but he doesn't like the spotlight. You know, I've interviewed him before.
Yes. I've seen that.
he
Well
is-
done. Well done.
Yeah, but he's not himself. He's not allowed to be himself. He has handlers that, basically say,
Yes.
you probably shouldn't talk about this, da 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 da.
Yes. Yes, you're right. I understand. But you're free. See, this is the great thing. We're free. We're free to make advertisements.
Well, we can't, infringe upon their trademark, but, yeah, we can do whatever we want.
The other thing I'd like to do is, I love these Patek Philippe mini movies.
They do a good job. You watch a lot of those?
And, yeah, I've seen a few. You know that one, To My Son. You know that there. And I'd like to make a video carrying on from that theme called For Personal Reasons.
For personal reasons?
I
This
don't know if you
this is
remember
your...
the video.
This is Archie's dream
the
Patek ad.
This is when the son got given the Patek from his dad and he sold it.
So this is the animation of the
reasons. You remember that? For personal reasons.
So this is something that happened?
No, it's a story. It was I think it was just fiction, but it's just I'd like to make it for personal reasons, and then we zoom straight into a strip club or a divorce proceedings. Just show some gritty life things.
This sounds a lot like the Patek ad I made our first April Fool's Day, where I put Charlie Sheen on the cover.
Yes, very cool. That was very cool.
Yeah, Patek was not very amused. I had to do a lot of public humiliation in front of Patek staff in order to make that go away. I had to be the bigger man. I was told that you know what they actually said to me. I'm not going to repeat a lot of the things Patek said to me, but they said, friends can make fun of friends. I'm like, so the implication is that we are not friends.
I see.
I mean, no one took that as being fact, yet they felt I was uncouth because I did not run it by them first.
That thing you did, I didn't know you did that. That was so cool,
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I've done it ever since
That's what
then.
got me
I've
to
done
the brand. That's what really pulled me into the brand,
My fake Charlie Sheen Patek ad?
Yep, with the hookers in it.
Really?
Yeah. That was a brilliant ad. I didn't realize you did that.
That was me. That was me.
amazing. I've still got that. I got that somewhere on my computer. I thought it was amazing.
Where did you think that came from?
I didn't know you did it.
Yeah.
Jesus. That was brilliant. I loved that.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
brilliant.
you.
That was brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually, you know what, I'll send you sometimes. You really like that. I'll have to find it. The original one that wasn't toned down, because you had a toned down one.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was one that was even more Archie, more Patrick Bateman. Let's put it that way.
I'd love that. That would
There was like a pile of cocaine, I think, in it.
I see. That was
I'll have
amazing.
to find that
I
someday.
can't believe you actually did that.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like it was like
It
a
was
bad
brilliant.
idea?
It was fantastic. Just amazing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Actually, Terry Stern apparently said that when he was reading it, because there's the article that went with it.
Yeah.
That when he was reading it, because I did like a fake interview with him, he's like, "This sounds like I was talking," and I was like, "Wow, that's a big compliment." I was able to emulate the statements of a watch industry executive very easily.
Hey, that's fantastic. That's well done. Well done indeed.
So I want to hear more. I want to hear about Archie Luxury's dream ad, because you have a reputation for being very opinionated, and I know that Archie Luxury he's an idealist, and maybe he goes a little overboard, right? But
Yes.
Does he have a soft spot for brand? Is there a brand that you can't hate no matter what?
Look, I think he loves Patek. Loves Patek.
Patek can do no wrong.
Can't really afford terribly many, but loves Patek.
It's expensive brand.
He loves the Rolex. Anything Rolex, he sees the value in that. He hates AP. He hates AP with a vengeance.
Okay.
And he loves the Omegas, but Omega makes too many variations, which that's the thing. He only likes the Moonwatch. It's the only one worth having is the Moonwatch.
I gotta say, the Moonwatch is awesome.
Yes.
And Omega definitely makes some duds. Okay, Omega knows that they make duds, but it does keep the brand interesting, right? Because you'll be like, what do they come out with next? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
But they also have some other great watches. I mean, look, the Planet Ocean is a kick-ass collection.
Yes. Yes.
Too big for some people, but if you can pull it off, that's a great watch.
It is a great watch. Yes. Yes.
I've never felt any connection to any DeVille ever.
No, DeVille is poison. Yes.
Even though that's what keeps the brand going. It's the weirdest conundrum for me in the world. The Omega paradox, if you will. The watches that I like most are like, in the scheme of their sales globally, the ones that like don't care about, like Speedmaster, like whatever. Like that's why Speedmaster is one of the only ones that get some limited editions, because it's the nerd watch.
I see. Got you.
Because nerds care about limited edition. Have you ever gone to a department store and seen limited edition?
Yes.
Have you? I've never seen it.
Kiss of death, isn't it?
Well, the idea is that nerds care about limited edition exclusivity.
Oh,
People that are mainstream, they just care about like the brand and it looking nice. They don't care how many are made at all.
No, I understand.
So you never see DeVille limited editions. Have you ever gone and been like, oh, I can't wait for this year's DeVille limited edition?
Yeah.
No one's ever said that.
I see what you're saying. I get your point. That's a good analogy there of nerds. See, we in Brisbane, we don't really have these. We got hipsters coming out now. Hipsters.
Oh,
hipsters.
I'm very, very sorry.
Hipsters, they want to be hip, so a lot of diesel watches, Fossil,
Ooh.
that sort of shit. Department store watches, that is poison. That is absolutely terminal. But
hey, that's what made Tag Heuer.
That's right. It's I love my watches. I really do love my watches. I love my watches.
Does Archie Luxury ever change his mind, or is he once you pick like an opinion, you stick to it forever?
Oh no, he's easily changed.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. He's not too proud to make a mistake and backtrack, especially if there's a hefty donation involved. That anything can be arranged.
Wait. People can pay you to change your mind?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so I have to ask, what has someone paid you in order to change your mind about?
It could be anything like Seiko, Grand Seikos. I think that involved a small payment.
Let me get this straight. You didn't like Grand Seiko, and then someone paid you, and now you say that you like Grand Seiko?
Exactly.
Was it that easy?
Yeah, it's that easy.
Does it work with other things? Like, can they just convince you of other stuff?
Yeah, it depends. Depends on how much leeway is in it there. Yeah, of course, he can change his mind. But, I mean, at the end of the day, there has to be some substance. I mean, you must admit, a Grand Seiko, whether you love the brand or hate it, you can see quality in it.
I have like 3 of them already.
Has to have some substance. It can't just be false. It's got to be some.
I don't own any. You know what the funny thing is? This is really telling about the type of collector I am.
Yes.
I do not own any mechanical Grand Seikos. I own Spring Drive, but I don't own any purely mechanical ones. And I really don't want one. It's not that I wouldn't buy it.
No.
They're lovely, but it's like it doesn't excite me as much as their quartz things.
Hey,
what does that mean?
You got to buy what another man can't tell another man how to spend his money.
But they sure try, don't they?
Oh yeah. No. You've got to work out what goes for you. Some people like sports. Some people like dress. You got to buy what works for you. It's your money. It's your money.
So let's talk more about like Archie mythology. Are there famous events in the life of Archie Luxury, like things that happened that were like a big deal that got people talking? Like, what are some of your highlights or your most popular times?
Highlights is probably having two Pateks. I had the Calatrava, then the annual calendar came out for Archie's 40th. And then for personal reasons, he had to get rid of them. And then we had the Gold Submariner. That was there for a while. And again, that was sold off. And then because he wanted his Patek back and he got a World Time.
Did you get the attention you wanted with these watches? Like, I know you like them, and I know that you like it when people notice your watch. It's a good feeling.
It was never about other people. It's always about the character himself. He's never really matters what other people think.
But you're wearing them out and about in Brisbane.
Yeah, occasionally, yeah. But we're not big on... People don't recognize things here. You can wear a gold sub, they wouldn't know what it really was.
Really? It's like a solid gold watch and they don't know what it's an expensive item.
There's so much gold plating, so many watches are gold plated.
You know what? I can tell. I have to say, I'm quite good at being able to tell.
But no, I can tell too. But average person can't really. They don't realize the significance of it.
Yeah, but the average person doesn't have that much gold in their life. They don't even know what gold looks like.
No, that's true. It's like that line out of that movie, Gary Ross.
Glenn Ross.
Yes, that's it. That line. You see this watch? It costs more than your car.
Yeah. And now, the funny thing is, we used to laugh that we could rewrite that movie now and it says, you see this watch, it costs more than your house.
Yes.
Okay, so those are, but what about in terms of the YouTube audience? Like, if you ask them, like what are the craziest moments for Archie? What would they say? Is there like a video that kind of sums up all your work? Is like if there's a novice that's coming in and they just want to sort of see your most popular stuff,
yes.
What would you show them?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Hard one indeed. There, I think that's a hard one. I couldn't pinpoint that.
Maybe topics that are just particularly just interesting or entertaining.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of the good videos I liked is what your watch says about you. That was a great series. How to judge a man by his shoes. That was another great series.
Were there watches in that?
No, I don't think in the shoes one there was. No. Sort of. You'd have to see it.
What's a good pair of shoes? I only wear one brand of shoes because they're comfortable.
Oh, these aren't comfortable. These are traditional English type shoes, with a leather sole.
And they're not allowed to be comfortable?
Well, they're not that comfortable. They're not like Eco or something like that, which is.
Oh my God, Echo! That's my brand.
Yeah, they're just magic, But
Echo Man too.
They are great. They're great shoes. But I got a pair of Churches or Lokes. That's kind of high end shoes,
I may admit ignorance around shoes. I do not
they're
know
a bit
about
like
shoes.
Patek. They're beautiful to look at, well made, but you wouldn't want to use them every day. Does that make sense?
Here's the thing I never understood. I hear what you're saying. It makes sense. But if the world knows what a comfortable shoe looks like,
yes.
Why can't the guys that charge a lot be like, hey, we can do the exact same thing we're doing. We use the same materials and craftsmanship, but they don't feel like you're walking on hardwood floor all the time?
Yes. You're right.
Why can't we have the best of both worlds? Why is that impossible?
You were so right. It is such a it's a difficult, but mind you, Ecos are good shoes. That's cool. That's
all I wear. I literally have like 40 pairs from the brand. I don't choose all of them. Some of their shoes are ugly, but if you look hard enough, you'll find some awesome stuff.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. There, it's
So how does Archie Luxury learn about what's going on in the watch world? And internet is fine. That's easy. I mean, in the real world, like, where are you getting your hands dirty with watches?
Look, hands dirty with watches. It's look, I travel a lot. I have a lot of paid reviews. Stuff comes in. You've got to.
Wait. People also send you their watch?
No. They send photos of their watch in, and I meet people on the travels. Like one of my recent trips, I changed my mind on FP Journe.
So to what way? You like it or now you don't?
I quite admire the brand. Looking at the quality, you think, ooh, this is a beautiful piece.
Yeah, they're really nice watches.
And beforehand, I was just pissed off that they had proprietary screw heads to take the watch apart.
Yeah, but it's like, how about this? I'll put it this way: more than any other culture I know, the French people know how to say "fuck you" in a way that you appreciate.
Yes.
You're like, thank you very much for that.
That's exactly right.
So that's what it is. I've taken the time to think about how to present to you in the classiest and most diplomatic ways possible with an air of sophistication and worldliness. Fuck you, sir.
You're right. You're exactly right. And it's funny that many years ago, I remember I got a cigarette lighter fixed by Richmond. I had a Dunhill cigarette lighter and I had a Cartier one.
Uh-huh.
And the Cartier one took 8 weeks to come back. The Dunhill one came back in a fortnight. They both went to Richmond.
Okay.
Because only the French can do fuck you like the French, you know.
What did they do with your lighter?
I asked for it to be. It just needed had a problem where the gas wasn't sealed properly in the chamber. And
okay, and they I'm sure was it expensive?
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. Nothing's cheap, but it was the French know how to do things, you know. They know how
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You know, there's this very dramatic scene in a lot of movies where someone in this sort of like with this air of positive retribution gets to light a Zippo and then throw into flames while walking away. You know, like throw it into fire and like explode something but like never go back and get it. With your expensive lighters you can't do that. You have to make sure that no one takes your lighters. Like if you're at a party and you're passing it around because people are doing stuff that's legal in California and probably not in Brisbane, you need to like watch like a hawk your lighter.
Well, okay, let's just clarify it. The truth is, if you smoke cigars, right, you don't want to use a Zippo because it will upset this. It'll contaminate the cigar. So you don't want to
contaminate with fire?
Sorry?
Wait, contaminate with what?
Because it's based on the Zippo works on a fuel, like a liquid fuel.
Oh, like butane, I guess, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that liquid fuel, shellite, will contaminate. That's why a gas lighter is you're supposed to use a match or a gas lighter to light a cigar, so it doesn't contaminate. You don't use a Zippo lighter to light a cigar.
No, butane is for the torches. So yes, like Zippo uses whatever that stuff is.
Yeah, lighter fluid. That liquid lighter fluid. That's what it is. Sorry.
Yeah, that stuff smells awful.
Yeah, that contaminates the cigar. See, so
you can actually make a cigar worse for you?
Yeah. There you go.
I had to say that.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. But
you like a cigar while you are recording a video. How did this ritual begin?
Well, actually, I got to tell you, a cigar is some fans send me some cigars. I haven't really. Cigars are very expensive in Australia. They're very expensive. But
so, are your fans keeping you well stocked in cigars?
I've got a few. I get a few, but I got to be careful. I've got a bit of a. I think I might have some emphysema coming on.
Well, okay. So, what do you want your fans to send you now that you shouldn't be smoking cigars as much?
Look. Cash is always good, but fine Scotch is always appreciated.
So, you get what's the weirdest thing a fan's ever sent you?
Paper mache head.
A paper mache head of whose head?
It's supposed to be mine.
Did it look like you?
Not really, but it was near enough.
And was there a reason involved? Like, thank you for something, or
just,
watch out for me, or what was the...
I don't know. It was kind of weird, you know?
Wow,
Kinda weird.
I'm actually jealous. I've never gotten a creepy paper mache anything.
Yes.
Yes. You've given me something that I need to live up to. Not that I want people to suddenly try to outdo themselves sending me creepy stuff, but actually, you know what? I I had a watch, someone from a watch brand that was very emotional, send me a book that there was an odd set of circumstances that day and that week, but it was kind of like there was an article published that they didn't love, and then they sent me a book that had like something like "You Will Die" in the title.
Oh, I see.
and I didn't think they were really trying to say too much of it, but it just so looked like they did with all the circumstances. But that's all I got was that. I
Hey.
don't have any paper mache limbs.
No, that's really cool. Hey, we've got to wrap this up soon. I got to get some bed time there. It's an hour.
Oh, okay. I'm up all night. I think what I wanted to do with this interview, and if the audience likes it, we'll do another one, is talk to Paul and talk to Archie. I think you're an interesting person. I think you're an asset to this community. I think, you're not for everyone, but you bring a good energy,
Well, I gotta
and you bring
say-
a passion.
I got to say, I'm really honored to speak with you. I mean, you are the number one YouTube watch channel. And,
Well,
and
it's
I
only
got to be
fun when
honest
it's a
with you, I
community.
admired your work for years. It's some of the other snootier channels, but you're the leader. I mean, forget those snooty clowns. You are the number one channel. And I remember a blog to watch. A blog to read. I used to watch that. I used to go. I got fired reading one of your columns.
Wow, I'm sorry.
And I got to tell you, in all honesty, it's a great honor to talk to you. And I tell you now, I'd love to do more interviews with you there. I'm just scared with this Audacity. I don't know if it crashes after an hour, so I just want to see how this file goes.
Okay, you're right. We are literally at that hour mark. You know what? You just proved that you actually make good use of your watches because you're on time. I am always late. I literally don't even deserve to wear watches because I don't know how to tell the time. So
I'd love to do another interview with you again. Let's see how this one goes. We've got an hour here, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. So again, this was behind the luxury, right? This is behind.
Hey, I like the way we ran it with the American Seiko. I didn't think I'd actually reveal that, but hey, why not? Why not?
Does it feel good?
It feels great. So
It feels great.
Okay, look, thank you so much. I'm just gonna press the button stop.
Okay. All right, everyone. So that was the Ariel Adams interview with Paul Pluta, also known as Archie Luxury, and we'll see you next time.